Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining. If you're joining now or if you're watching the replay, we really appreciate you for joining us on these weekly webinars. We absolutely love doing them every week. Me and Jenna had met in Arizona and we found out each other was a nurse and we're like, what a better way to share how you can heal your body instead of instead of the original American diet and the Canadian diet, right? And get into disease. And so we partnered up and decided to do these weekly so we can give hope to people that are struggling, whether it's health issues, mental health issues, or whatever it may be, because we have seen so many people suffer. Like as a nurse, I've seen so many people suffer, and I can't tell you the amount of times I've cried, like after just thinking, oh my gosh, if they would have just changed their lifestyle or their health or the food that they eat, their life would have been different. Their outcome would have been different. And so when I hear people getting off medicines within this community and doing the 90-day protocol, it just really warms my heart because I'm like, oh my gosh, like if people would just find this and I'm sure there's so many people out there praying for a change. And that's why we're committed to doing these every week, because there's those people that are looking for hope and we're excited to share this. And I wanted to just share a little thing about glyphosate. Glyphosate, a lot of people don't even know about. I didn't even know about it as a nurse. And it is the Roundup that is sprayed on a lot of our foods, right? And it causes a lot of health issues. We don't even know it, but our gut ends up compromised and we have a lot of problems with that. So I'm just going to, I'm going to read this off my phone. So due to health concerns, glyphosate is banned in some countries. Due to the emerging risk of cancer, glyphosate has been banned in several countries like Belgium, France, Netherlands, because it can cause cancer and cause a lot of other health issues. So what I'm excited about within our 90-day protocol, we have a product called Biomedic, and it detoxes out. And we're going to talk about the protocol here in a little bit, but I just wanted to make you aware that so much of our food is sprayed with that. And not only that, the water, like I've seen my husband use it, right? Now I've educated him. So, and he'll spray it. We live on a lake, so he'll spray it in our yard. Well, then what happens when it rains, right? It goes into the lake. And then what do? We swim and play in the lake. The grandchildren play in the lake. We play, so it absorbs into us, right? So I just want to make people aware that, first of all, to stop using it. And second of all, there's other options. And second of all, it's so bad for our health. So that's one health reason. So anyways, we're excited to be here and share this 90-day protocol and how it's transformed Pamela's life. She's our guest for today. And Jenna, just share anything that you want to add to that.
Yeah, that's amazing information about glyphosate. A lot of people just don't know about it. It's invisible. So I was actually just listening to Dave Sandoval, who's our founder of the company. He was talking about, like, if you knew about the water being contaminated with lead in Flint, Michigan, would you let your children drink it? And obviously that's a no. So this is kind of the same. It's a contaminant on our food, and it's on the majority of the food because anything that's a GMO crop, anything that's not organically grown, and even some of the stuff that is organically grown, because a lot of times they're just downwind, and this is a water soluble chemical. So when it's sprayed on the food, it's actually not hitting food for the most part. Maybe a tenth of 1% of it lands on the weeds. But most of it's going down into the soil where it's then in the food supply, like it's in there, locked into the ecosystem. And then it comes down, like what Angie was saying, in the rain, and you can't really control where it lands then. So yeah, it's really important to have solutions for detoxing it out of our body and to be supporting a company that is promoting regenerative agriculture and organic farming so that our planet can heal too. So all around, it's just a really smart decision to take this path to health. Yeah, like there's nothing like it. I've looked really far and wide and have never found anything even close. So that's all
Yeah.
I got.
Yeah. Awesome. Definitely. One of the top things of our foods that glyphosate is found in is cereal. is Cheerios. And what do we do to our little children? That's one of the first little munchy things we give them is Cheerios. So we're feeding them glyphosate sprayed food from a young age. And I have a brother-in-law who works at a farm in Saskatchewan, and he says they spray 9 times a year. And that just kind of scares me. And I know they have acres and acres of land, and that's kind of their moneymaker, right? Is their grain. So we need to change. But the good thing is, we can detox that out, right? And look at that sweet little girl. I love to see her eating, glyphosate-free food. She eats superfoods, and I love that. So anyway, today here we have Pamela. Pamela's from Canada, and she told me just a little bit about her story, and it just really, I was like, oh my gosh. And so she struggled with mental health, and we see that a lot in the hospitals, right? People who are struggling with mental health. And then, with that mental health, a lot of times with the medicine goes weight. And sometimes you eat, with that mental health, that's your comfort, is your foods. You end up with a lot of weight. So she shared what her weight was, and she needed to make a change. And I'm not going to tell all her story, but she made a change. And then she, with that change, with surgery, which a lot of people choose, there's another issue, multiple issues that can happen. And I've had multiple patients with issues from that. And I've seen patients had to get a lot of their colon taken out, end up with a colostomy and, malnutrition. So a lot of issues. So anyways, welcome, Pamela. We are so excited to have you share your story. And so many people need to hear your story, because by sharing your story, you're going to help a lot of people. And I'm excited to have you on today.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, and thanks for having me here. And yes, I think I was probably 12 when I first had suicidal thoughts and had no idea why. And when I was, I struggled all throughout my teenage years with just wanting to hurt myself, but never did until I went away to college, and that big change just triggered me badly, and I started cutting and doing even more drinking and my first suicide attempts. And that's the first time I ended up in the hospital long term. I did, it sounds like jail, but I did a 6 month stint in a few different, they just sent me from one institution to the other. And I was so drugged up, my mom said I could stay awake for 15 minutes at a time. And then I had to go back to bed. And then I ended up, that was at 18 was my first shock treatment as well, which is very debilitating on the body. I think now they only do one side, if they still even do it, but back then they put them on both sides. And anesthetic every other day is hard on you in the first place. And my mom would come to visit, and I wasn't sure who she was. I would always say, "You never come visit me," even though she came every day. And she said I lost control of my bodily functions. And that just started a roller coaster of in and out of the hospital from the time I was 18 till I'm 57 now. Well, until probably till I was 50. Just back and forth and back and forth, and mostly in the hospital more than I was out, sometimes up to 150 days a year, institutionalized, like certified. You don't have a choice. And my family thought for sure that I would just end my life, and my mom was so scared that she would find me dead in my own house. That's her greatest fear. And raising my daughter was hard, alone, mentally ill. And you get the last time I was in the psych ward, they put me on 3 new medications and I gained 50 pounds in a month. And then they tell you it's not the medications. And you're like, but I haven't done anything different. And I'm 50 pounds heavier. So all of a sudden, everything is just so much blame. I went through so much abuse. The mental health system is so broken. They would throw me in isolation. They'd make fun of me. Like, I mean, the abuse was just really bad. And I didn't know it was abuse until I just got into counseling and started talking about it. And she's like, that's just plain abuse. So there's not really a way out. And when I was 18, the one doctor said to me, I think you need some vitamins. Otherwise, nobody talked about nutrition in all those years. No one, no counselors, no doctors, no nurses, no social workers, and nobody. And so I weighed 305 pounds and I was using all of the mobility aids that I could because I just couldn't. I was so my body was just so done that I used a motorized scooter and that make the toilet higher and a walker if I was walking around and thing to help you get to bed, like everything. And that's just no life when you're not even 50 yet. So I tried walking, and then the doctor would tell me, you're breaking the tops of your feet. You're not allowed to walk. So you start feeling like you have no choices. And so I went to Mexico. I researched doctors, so I got a really good surgeon because that's that's one of the important things. And got gastric bypass surgery. And I came home and yes, I lost a lot of weight, but all of a sudden I started having complications, throwing up constantly. And then they put me on medication. So I went through up, but they would make me throw up. And then the doctors give me shit. Well, why are these making you throw up? They should be helping. Why? I don't know. And they had no idea why I was just so sick and couldn't keep anything down. I found out that I was so full from my system moving so slowly that, of course, when you're full up, you can't take anything in. It's just going to come up. But um, some of the doctors actually made fun of me and just said, "Well, you're full of poop." And then they give me one of those little fleet enemas and send me home. I'm like, that's not gonna that's not gonna do it. My daughter was really worried that I was gonna have to ask for a feeding tube because she was afraid I was gonna die once again, but from something else. And so I was really desperate. And I'd actually started going off a lot of my medications with my psychiatrist because I started losing so much weight that I said, I'm a zombie. I think we need to take some medications down. And so we started doing that. And I started feeling a little better mentally. And I had met a, a Gabrielle Brick. She's Imperium. She's a holistic nutritionist. I'd met her down in Texas at a retreat and knew that I needed her help desperately. So I got a hold of her and I went into one of her online classes and then just bit the bullet and started working with her one-on-one. And she said, you need to order this package. And I had no idea what it was or what was coming, but I just did what I was told and ordered it. And when it came, I could only do a shot glass of the green shake at a time. That's all I could do. And I had a hard time getting, I mean, I think it took me 3 months to do a month's worth of the ULT, but I just never quit. I trusted her that it would make a huge difference, and it really did. On medication, I had to sleep 12 hours a night. I was so medicated. And then when I went off the medications, I could only sleep 4. And over time, with all of the Purium nutrients and the tart cherry, and I started sleeping 6 to 7 hours a night, but still not dreaming at all. And now with the pineal clear, every once in a while now I have a dream. So I'm really knowing that I'm really liking sleeping. I used to hate it. I used to try to avoid it. But um and I don't have to worry about gaining weight. My mental health is so good. And now my therapist says, I don't think you were ever mentally ill. You you have ADHD and autism. And now my whole life kind of makes sense. But Purium still helps with that so immensely. I take my Revividol 3 times a day, and I used to have a lot of rage. I even gave myself a concussion. My last concussion, I've had many, but my last concussion I gave to myself because I was so angry at myself. But taking my Revividol, I don't get that. I don't even get road rage. It used to be really bad. And when I feel it coming up that I'm getting a little uptight, I'm like, oh, it must be time to take my Revividol. And I take it. So I think I would fight somebody tooth and nail if they tried to take away my Purium, because it I don't think I wouldn't be here without it. I wouldn't have my mental health. I wouldn't be able to eat because I mean the gastric bypass cuts part of your vagus nerve, and things just slow down so much that I can drink something and throw it up over an hour later. So um this here is life. It looks, I mix so many things together. It looks, people say it looks horrible, but this is life to me. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, what, that's what I said, somebody's out there waiting for hope and, thank God you met her, like in Texas, yeah, right? From Canada to Texas. There was somebody out there like her that helped you. And I love that you didn't give up, the 90-day protocol, sometimes you can't take it all with issues like that. You had gastroparesis, so you weren't really digesting anything. It got stuck in your stomach and it had nowhere to go because you weren't digesting, right? So, oh my gosh, I just had goosebumps the whole time you were talking because I remember as a student in nursing, this is years ago, 1987 is when I graduated. But anyways, I remember watching a treatment like that in my psych. Yeah, I watched it and I thought there has to be a better way. Like, are you kidding me? Like they say, oh, well, it helps. And I'm like, okay, like great, but there has to be a better way. And there is a better way, right? It's nutrition. We didn't learn that, right? You say nobody told you. Well, we've never ever learned that. So I am so grateful that I've learned that you need to detox out your health. You need to make a difference what you're putting in and get rid of the shit, the toxins that are in your body. And look what happens, right? I just love your story and thank you so much for sharing it. It just, yeah, I know there's so many people out there struggling. I mean, there's more and more people struggling with mental health, and that's because of all the stuff that is in our body that really shouldn't be in our body. And when you can have, good nutrition. So we're going to share with you the 90-day protocol, and I will share my screen and we'll share that with you here really quick. Share. All right, so this is the ULT, that one's with collagen. This is ULT. So we have different ones, but this one is the main one. This is the Power Shake. So when she said she put something good and nutrient into her body, that is one thing. That's our veggies. That's like 16 different phytonutrients that our body's not used to. That's what our body craves. Our body craves something amazing. And so it's equivalent to 6 microgreen salads that you put in 2 times a day, and your body goes, what? Like, holy cow, like your cells can regenerate, right? It turns your body into an alkaline state, and you start to heal by taking this Power Shake. It's absolutely delicious. Also, I love it. We mix 5.5 scoops into this blender right here. I love this blender. So you have water, you put 5.5 scoops, you press the button, your drink is made. Like, it's amazing. You can have it anywhere, you know, wherever you are. So if you're at the beach, you can take food, you know, your food with you, right? And we do 2 a day. On the 90-day protocol, you do 2 a day. And yeah, it just makes such a difference in your health and in your life, really. It helps decrease cravings. You know, sometimes when you have a lot of sugars and stuff in your body and you're on the acidic state, you crave all these different sugars and crave different things. Well, it helps get rid of the cravings. It helps detox your body and satisfy your cells. The second one here is the apothecary, and the apothecary is delicious. And that's what Pamela was saying, is that she couldn't sleep. Well, the apothecary, it is tart cherries that are so like we take 2 tablespoons, but it increases the circadian rhythm. So it helps you get into that deep sleep. It helps you create melatonin. Instead of taking melatonin, I see people taking melatonin all the time. Well, the melatonin stops your gland for creating melatonin. So you want to help your body create melatonin, and the apothecary does that. So it is so good. I love it. It's like my little cocktail night, 2 tablespoons in a glass of water with a little bit of water, and it's a great, great little drink at night. It decreases inflammation. It's got the best anti-inflammatory that is out there. So it decreases inflammation. So you might have joint pain, that'll help that and make a difference. So the antioxidant is great. It's like the best fruit in the world. 1 teaspoon or tablespoon, sorry, of the tart, it's like equal to 30 tart cherries. So 2, we have 60 tart cherries, and really it's between 5 and 6 cups of blueberries by just the 2 tablespoons. So it goes to show you how potent it is and how good it is for your body. So that's your fruits. And so you have your veggies and your fruits. And Jenna, I know your daughter's there, are you good to explain the protein, the super aminos?
Yeah, let me give it a try. If she
Okay.
starts to, this is, another perk of the business. You get to be home with your little ones. So the Super Amino 23, we've already talked about our veggies and grains, and we have the fruit, and now this is our protein. So it's the best, highest quality vegan protein that you're going to find. It's pre-digested, so there's no work for the body to do protein can be a harder thing for the body to digest. There's a lot of waste generally, and that waste is toxic. So having no waste, having no need for your body to digest. This was actually designed for coma patients to prevent muscle wasting while they're laying in bed. So it's going to help you to build muscle and burn fat. It's going to improve your skin elasticity, all while giving your body, your digestive system, a little break. So I love the aminos. We take 5 in the morning and then 5 in the afternoon. And it's equivalent to around about 15 grams of protein. It's hard to say exactly because everybody's body is going to assimilate it a little differently since it's already in its amino acid state, the broken down state. So yeah, that's the aminos, our protein. And then we have the gut repair, which is called Biomedic, which Angie was talking about at the beginning. So in order to be able to properly absorb all of this nutrition, we need to make sure our gut is in good shape. So a lot of us who've been exposed, I would say most of us who've been exposed to the pesticides and preservatives and processed foods have a compromised gut and have what's called dysbiosis, where you have a imbalance of gut bacteria. We want to have a lot of good gut bacteria that are helping us to crave the alkaline foods, which are healthy for us and are helping to produce our serotonin so that we feel happy and and are helping our immune system. So we want to have the proper food for these good gut microbes, and we want to detox out the chemical called glyphosate, which is actually a known carcinogen and neurotoxin that is all over our food supply. So we're removing 74% of the glyphosate within 6 weeks of use based on clinical trials. And we are decreasing, it's called C-reactive protein, CRP, which is a marker, a lab that we check, and it tells us how much inflammation there is in the body. So when you see a lot of inflammation in the body, you're going to see diseases in the body. So decreasing inflammation and decreasing glyphosate and improving our intestinal absorption by healing what's called leaky gut, where you have little breaks where you're actually leaking like the waste and the poison into your bloodstream, and you're not absorbing the nutrients properly. So I might let you, okay, everything's okay. She's like headed away, sorry. Yeah, so the last piece is a parasite cleanse, which I absolutely love doing a parasite cleanse. Every time I do it, I get into a higher state of control of my cravings and just feel better all around. My energy goes up, my positivity goes up. It's just a real great way to get in the driver's seat of your health and your choices. So basically everyone has parasites. We are part of nature. So if you are interacting with animals or swimming in a lake or walking barefoot or kissing somebody that like has eaten pork, or if you've eaten sushi, there's like so many different ways that you can be exposed to parasites. So the goal is to not have those parasites ruling our cravings, because they like to tell us to do things and eat things that are not going to serve us. They're going to serve them, and they steal our nutrients from us. So getting the parasites out is really critical. So we'll do 10 days of the parasite cleanse, 20 days off, and then we'll do another 10 days to capture any eggs that may have hatched. So yeah, yeah. I'll let you go ahead, Andy.
Awesome. I love that your little girl's there with you, and she loves the superfoods too. So that's a 90-day protocol. And basically it comes down to $12.50 a day, which is nothing, right? We spend that on, on crap, really. You go to McDonald's, you spend that. So $12.50 a day can change your life. And I love Pamela's, how her life's changed, and that we've had so many amazing testimonies of people's changing their life, because when you are more healthier, like I've gotten so much healthier too. I haven't had those big, a big testimony, but I did have hip pain. I did have weight around my waist. I'm back to my weight when I was in my 20s, and I'm now 60. So it really makes a change of what you're putting in your body. So it's like plus you kind of save money, because you're using the superfoods that are all grown in regenerative soil. You're using that for 2 of your meals. So you can have some snacks in between, and you just, whatever if you're hungry, just have something, but you are doing 2 of your meals and then really just 1 meal. So you're really saving money that way also. And I love that. So it's got everything in the 90-day protocol because it takes 90 days to really, change and make those change and get rid of those habits and stuff like that. So, there's other things, as Pamela mentioned, that she took that really helped her mental health. So if you guys have questions on, whatever issues you have, actually we have like a pamphlet that whatever issue you have, it shares what you could take to help you with that issue. So that's awesome too. But we really recommend starting with the 90-day protocol, because it will change your life. And so whoever brought you here to this webinar, to this today, or if you're watching the replay, get back to them and they will give you a discount code, a 25% off discount code that that you'll get. And that's awesome because I've never seen, you know, that much of a discount. That's such an incredible thing. So yeah, so guys, thanks for joining us today. We really appreciate you, and we will see you next week with another amazing guest. And thanks, Pamela. I just love your story, and thank you so much. All right, bye-bye.